Hey, spiritual superstars. Let's see if that's better. Ooh, that's a lot better. You know what that means? That means that this message is, and if it is for you, let me know that. I started. Let's go ahead and just take a deep breath in, because I'm feeling that. Ready? Come on in. Take a deep breath in. Hey, Vanessa. Ready? Deep, deep, deep. Challenging your human. Kissing your higher self. Connecting with divine. And letting it out. Let's do it again. That breath feels so good to your soul. I was thinking earlier about when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and life was like really, really tough. And I'm sure a lot of you feel that way because there's a crossroad that you're at. You either are making it or you are plummeting during that time, specifically between about 27 years of age to 31, because that's the first major spiritual awakening of our lives. That's not to say that you haven't experienced it before that. It's to say that is the first major awakening that you will have. And it will be life, it will be the universe just on your back. And it requires you to be very intentional with your actions. And I can remember during those years, Spirit was talking to me heavily. My ancestors, my spirit guides, heavily. Dreams were coming true. My spiritual guidance, my gifts were just absolutely illuminated. So much so that it would scare me. I would hear people, I would hear their thoughts. They wouldn't be talking to me, but we would be having a conversation. I would hear their thoughts as loud as if they were talking verbally, but they were saying something totally different. During that time, you're going to be so connected to people's truth because you're so connected with your gifts that it could blow your mind. Well, it caused me, I can't say it caused me to do this. I chose to what Napoleon Hill talks about in Outwitting the Devil as drifting. I drifted, meaning I wasn't intentional with my actions. I was seeing a guy that I knew was no good for me, and I kept him in my life because I was afraid to not have him near me. And I was afraid of what that might feel like, what it might look like for me. I didn't speak up for myself. I went and kept jobs that made me miserable. When I knew Spirit was telling me, I'm talking to you. You know how to hear from me. You know spiritual guidance. And I was talking to people about it. I was teaching them. I was coaching. But I was doing it without intention. I was doing it because it pleased me, not intentionally, if that makes sense. The universe requires us to be intentional with our actions. And I learned that years later. And I hope this message hits home for somebody. If it does, hit the thumbs up button, let me know, because it happens to everybody. And we don't just get one chance or a couple of opportunities. We get time after time after time. It is never too late to start a new direction. And when you're in your Saturn return, which is your first spiritual awakening that rocks your world, it is the make it or break it of your life. The universe, the Holy Spirit, is going to be talking to you nonstop. And you're going to be in alignment with your purpose. And so the universe requires us to be intentional with our actions, with our words, with our relationships, and requires us to get rid of relationships that don't benefit us. And so anybody out there who is a giver, you're a people pleaser, you are the one that people step on, I have been there. And I can tell you that is not how you want to live your life. And I know this because deep inside, while you hear me saying this, I know you're like, she's right. It's a matter of not knowing how to take action towards your worth. Some of the things that I started doing to end that relationship, and it wasn't just with the one guy, it was with other people in my life that were no good for me. I started putting post-it notes on my mirrors. I started listening to affirmations. I started praying. And I started having conversations with the Most High everywhere. Like before, during that time, I was giving in to the challenges and the fear. Really what it was, I was giving in to the fear. And I was trying to ignore the fact that Spirit was asking me to be intentional with my actions. So when the guy that I was seeing would show up at my doorstep without any call, no indication he was going to come, just show up, I could be on my way out the door. Before, I would have made room for him. I would have changed my plans. I remember one day I looked at him and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I just stopped by because I came to come see you." And I said, "No, you didn't call? You didn't think that I might have plans?" And he was like, that was the reaction I got. I'll never forget it. And in that moment, our spiritually guided sensations just overcame my whole body. A pouring down of chills, numbing sensations. Like my whole body just felt like it was illuminated. And I felt God on me. And I remember looking at him and he couldn't look at me. And I really can't say that I ever saw that before. I remember just looking at him and, going like this to look at him because he was kind of facing side. And I wanted to look him in his eyes. And that was the first time that I was ready to call him on his stuff. It was the Spirit of God. It was God over me and in me. And when I tell you, it was more than the prickles on my scalp, right? How many of you feel the prickles on your scalp? Type of 1, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know. How many times feel the radiating energy up and down your arm? How many times you feel the palms of your hands itch? The soles of your feet? Right? How many times do you feel the hot, cold sensations? You feel the numbing just the waves of in you, right? All of that means something. And so Spirit was telling me, no more. You about to be intentional with your relationships. So I remember going to the job, right? And before, my manager, she would say certain things that would be flipped, like it would be sarcastic. And it would make me question, like, did she really mean, something different? Because I would feel the energy. Second she would say it, it would hit me like a boom. Like an explosion would go off in me. And I would react. I know my spiritual guidance. I know when God's talking to me. But at the time, Spirit was giving it to me like 100,000 times more. And it was freaking me out. I was in my Saturn return. Saturn was on my back, making me do things right the first time. And it was freaking me out. I remember the people that I used to go to lunch with started like talking about me and started treating me really bad. And making cracks on me because I was the supervisor. And I remember when I would walk up, they would stop talking, and I would feel their energy. And when I would walk up, there was a couple times I would walk up and tell me, spiritual superstars, I know y'all experienced this because I'm not the only one gifted. You are gifted. You are chosen. God is talking to you. And it's your spiritual guidance. You walk up, and before you even get within ear distance, right? You hear what they're saying. Word for word. You can hear it as if you're right there close up on them like this. You can hear it. And so I would try to ignore it. I would still go, my human would still be like, let's go. Have lunch with them. Let's go see, how they're doing and everything. Try to be a part of the group. And I would get up on them and they would be like, what's up? Like, like basically, what do you want? And then the whole vision of what I had just seen and what I had just heard would come right on back in that instant of a moment. And that would be spirit. And you know it. You know what else I would feel. Right? I would be feeling our spiritually guided sensations all over me. So, spiritual superstars, when you feel like you're at the crossroads and you can make this decision or you can make this decision, God is going to require you to be intentional with your life. This life is so short. We have to plan ahead. We have to say no to relationships that do us no good. We have to be grateful that we can no longer be around certain people. Our energy repels them, right? Their energy is repelled by us. They start talking about us. You think you're too good. Well, I don't even see you at the club anymore. I don't see you at such and such anymore. You don't even come over so-and-so's house anymore. What, you think you too good for us now that you got that little job? Or what you trying to do, how your little business doing? You still doing that little business? Are you still doing that? What's up with that? Oh, I see you. You got your hair all, you wearing your hair different and stuff. Oh, I see you got your new ride. Or they say something like, it's something to put you down, to make you feel bad. But that's spirit. That's actually God intervening so that you don't have to waste your time with them anymore. And telling you that you are ascending. You are elevating. And their energy can't be around yours because yours is up here and theirs is down here, and they know it. They feel it. And it's scary. Ascension is scary. I remember I had a job. I was team lead. I just got there. And I was just starting corporate America. I was team lead, supervisor, manager within like 2.5 weeks. I didn't know what I was doing. They groomed me for the position. When I got hired, I had no idea I got hired as a billing analyst. And the people that hired me were leaving the company. I had no idea, right? They had started their own telecommunications company. And within 2 weeks, I was a manager over about 150 people. And I remember I asked my mother, what the heck happened? Like, how did that happen? She's like, Nikki, they saw God in you. They know that you can do it. And you were meant for this job. You were being spoken in those rooms before you got there. They were talking about you. That's what that means. When your name is being talked about, when you are in those rooms being talked about before you get there, they are calling your energy to them. And you are on their frequency. So when they were talking about, we need this kind of manager, we need to be able to groom them. We need to be able to know their characteristics, their morals, their ethics. They got to be this, they got to be that. We're looking for this, we're looking for that. At that same time, I was like, the job that I had, this isn't it. This isn't it. I deserve more. I deserve better. The same time, friends that I did have, a couple good friends, were both telling me, you know, you don't deserve this job. They don't appreciate you. I could see you in an office. I could see you running things. So all of this to say, the alignment happened.